India's aviation sector is facing mounting pressure. Air India, IndiGo, and SpiceJet are seeking financial support from the government. Now, they flag extreme stress amid a rise in fuel prices and longer routes due to war-related restrictions on airspace.
In a letter to the authorities, the companies say they're on the verge of stopping operations. Jet fuel accounts for nearly 40% of the airline's costs, and they say it's making operations unviable.
Yeah, India's two biggest airlines are also preparing for leadership changes. Air India says CEO Campbell Wilson will step down, while IndiGo has announced industry heavyweight Willie Walsh will take over the top role later this year. Rebecca Bundhun filed this report for CNA from Mumbai.
India's airlines are navigating a turbulent period. Fuel costs are up with tensions in the Middle East squeezing energy supplies, while key flight corridors in the region remain disrupted. For Indian carriers, which rely heavily on these routes, that means longer flight times and higher operating costs.
It is like a double whammy of impact that's happening on the aviation sector. You're seeing the sector is already impacted due to, the hold on the Pakistan airspace, and now with the Middle East crisis, a lot of the international traffic seems to have been impacted. I think more than 2 to 4 hours have been added to many western routes, which increases the fuel cost.
Fuel is a major expense, typically accounting for around 30% of airline operating costs. And while domestic jet fuel prices have seen moderate increases, global prices have surged, putting pressure on international routes. Ratings agency ICRA has downgraded its outlook for India's aviation sector, highlighting cost pressures, airspace closures and depreciation of the rupee. Analysts say these challenges are compounding existing issues, including high taxes, staff shortages and supply chain disruptions. India's aviation sector is overwhelmingly dominated by two carriers, Air India and IndiGo. Together they have about a 90% share of the market, and both carriers have been through their own crises. Air India is awaiting the final report into the deadly crash last year that killed 260 people. The airline has been trying to turn itself around since its privatization by the Tata Group in 2022. But Bloomberg reports the carrier posted a loss of more than $2 billion in the last financial year.
The crash played a big part in Air India's transformation going few steps back. We hope the accident report, the final report comes out soon, something Air India and the entire aviation community can learn from and move ahead. It's really, really important for Air India to move ahead, and not just for Air India, also the incoming CEO, whoever that will be for Air India, for that person, for him or her, to start with a clean slate will be a big relief.
Air India this month announced CEO Campbell Wilson's resignation after almost 4 years in the role. He'll stay on until a successor is appointed. Meanwhile, rival IndiGo has faced its own issues. In December last year, it cancelled thousands of flights. The meltdown was blamed largely on crew shortages, as the budget carrier tried to comply with the aviation regulator's new stricter norms. But analysts say there are signs of optimism, with veteran executive and current IATA chief Willie Walsh set to take over as IndiGo CEO in August.
This is exactly the kind of experience that IndiGo desperately needs right now, especially as it looks to expand across the world. Of course, it won't be a bed of roses for Willie Walsh. I'm sure he knows that.
Industry watchers say while the challenges are enormous, so too are the opportunities, as India remains one of the fastest growing aviation markets in the world. For CNA, I'm Rebecca Bundhun in Mumbai.